Hey everyone. So today I thought that I would bring you all to my local Vietnamese grocery store. This is the one that I used to live near before I moved my first week while I was here. Since you all seem to enjoy going grocery shopping with me, and I thought I'd bring get some typical, I don't know, Vietnamese stuff that you can only find in Vietnamese grocery stores. And then we'll go back and then, yeah, we'll see what I bought. Oh, that's vegetarian. So hi, yes, welcome back. So let me show you guys what I got. I didn't get as much as I got from like Tien last time. It's also a new day because I didn't feel like, because it was quite late when I got back. So I stuffed everything in the refrigerator in the bag so that I didn't have to repack everything. Okay. I know it was a Vietnamese grocery store, but it does have a lot of non-Vietnamese stuff, and also I didn't get a lot of Vietnamese stuff, is what I was trying to say. So there's that. Okay, I did get a couple of new things that I wanted to try because of you guys. So first thing I got was this. I've been making a lot more dessert soups. So these are brown sugar bars, and I mention them a lot whenever I'm making like Asian dessert soups. Is usually we don't really use like granulated sugar. Usually you either use like the crystal, yellow rock sugar, or you use, if it's like a darker color, some kind of like a brown sugar like this. And the difference between the two is these are both raw types of sugar, so they're not processed. And if you guys have ever tried palm sugar before, it's actually quite similar. It's nicer. It's not like granulated sugar kind of like hits you with how sweet it is, whereas these ones, it's kind of like a nice, gently sweetened thing. And you would use it similarly to sugar, only like sometimes you have to cut it up or break it up. I really like these in, like when I make the tong yun, which is the sweetened dumplings. It can be for New Year's, it can be for any time, but usually I'll cut these up into chunks, add some like sesame, add some like peanuts or something, and then that way the filling itself, not only is the filling sweet, but it also has like little chunks of sugar in it. That's not hard because this stuff kind of crumbles, but it has like a nice bite. and a nice crunch to it. So sugar. This is like the Korean laver seaweed for gimbap. I got these because they tend to have a nice price over there. Yeah, it's roasted, but sometimes like you might actually, like some people actually roast them again over fire just to get, I imagine it's like toasting nuts. It just gets the flavor a little bit more good. What else? Sesame seeds, as I normally do for my oatmeal, which is going really well. I need to shoot another what I eat in a day video, but I have added yet another thing to the oatmeal that is going to be very exciting. Yeah, breakfast, best meal of the day. Which brings me to lunch. So I got a bag of these because I know last time when we were doing the Tian grocery store haul, I mentioned like, oh, like maybe we should do like a ramen taste test because there's so many, like in the areas around me, in the grocery stores anyways, there's so many different brands that I have never seen before that have like really cute animals on it. Like, I'm quite impressed with it. But this one's by Samyang, which is a Korean brand that we've seen before. But the difference between this is Bulldog light, which is supposed to be like a hot chicken flavored ramen, but it's lighter in that it is 1, not fried, 2, less spicy, and 3, less calories. If you guys don't know, usually the reason that ramen or like instant noodles are instant and they cook so quickly is because normally after you make the noodles, they deep fry it. They take it out so that the noodles are really already par cooked. They're kind of airy because they've been fried as well. So once they hit the water, they soften really quickly. But I've seen a couple brands now where they're moving towards like not fried noodles, which I imagine is good because it does lower down on the calories. But at the same time, I feel like you might be losing that, you know, like the reason that you like maybe the kind of semi-chewy, airy texture of ramen is probably because they fried it, right? More sodium, hold on. So this, I got 2 packets of these, which is da tai. We talk about this fairly often now. Usually like Sichuanese cuisine, different kinds of like Chinese mainland cuisine uses da tai a lot. And that is just pickled mustard greens. But the mustard is different from like what we would think of as mustard greens in the Western sense. It's not leafy, but their mustard green is almost like, I almost want to say it's like a radish. And so they're able to cut it up into kind of these long, stringy pieces, and then they marinate it with salt, rapeseed oil, sesame spices, chili sauce, soybean, wheat flour, different flavor enhancers. So this is always really nice. Sometimes they have like a thin, it really depends on the kinds that you buy, because some kinds you see like the chili oil is all over it and it's like super, super oily. I tend to not get the ones that are overly spicy. So when I get them, they usually have just like a little film of oil over them. So what I do is I just stick it in the sieve and I just wash it away a little bit. It's not like it's an overly healthy thing, but it is, you know, whatever helps. This is probably the only kind of Vietnamese thing I got was Longdans does this brown rice paper. So it's normal. It's kind of like your normal spring roll wrapper where, if you guys haven't seen those videos before, you dip the spring roll paper in water for just a couple of seconds and then it becomes really pliable. You can use it to just wrap your spring rolls. But this one is made from brown rice. So it's actually brown rice, tapioca, flour, and a little bit of water and salt. So I just thought maybe it would be, yeah, I've tried it actually before on the channel, but I want to get into the habit of just eating more vegetables rather than just putting it in my shake, because I'm kind of getting, I'm a little sick of the shake at this point. It's been a couple years now. I've tried it every day. I thought by this point I'd just be used to it. I would just like it. But it just kind of, it makes me not want to drink it. So, so I thought, yeah, okay, even if it risks like, you know, 2 or 3 sheets of this, if I can stick the vegetables in and, I don't know, maybe prepare a little sauce on the side, maybe it'll just force me to eat more vegetables, you know. But, you know, having the brown rice paper as opposed to the white rice paper might be just a little better, just making me feel a little bit better. It might not do anything, who knows. Okay. Last time I mentioned that I bought a packet of the 5-flower tea, like dried herbal tea mix from Tian Tian. That is essentially like dried flowers, like 5 different types of herbs and flowers that they have dried that you put into water and you make kind of like a tea elixir thing out of. This is just dried chrysanthemum. Of course, everybody knows that for the flower. If you've ever had dim sum before, one of my favorite teas to drink at dim sum is a mix of green tea and chrysanthemum because it's a little bit more floral, it's a little bit more fruity, it's lighter than just if you have like a green tea or like an oolong or I don't know, something dark. That's that. Next thing is this giant hunk of tempeh. Let me tell you why I got this. So I think it was 2 pounds? 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds, I don't know. This is a 400 gram, like nearly a pound block of giant tempeh that Longdans keeps in their frozen department. So you guys know from, you know, shopping at different grocery stores, it could be like Whole Foods, it could be, you know, one of those organic food shops, is tempeh has a tendency to be really expensive just because I think, I don't know, it's still maybe semi-novel, I don't know. But anyways, this is an organic tempeh that I have found to be super, super affordable. Again, I think it was like 2 pounds, maximum 3. And a pound of tempeh actually goes a really, really long way. Like you can cut them up into strips, you can season them, turn it into tempeh bacon. You can use it in place of tofu if you want a more whole foods option. Anytime you have like meat, you want to substitute for meat, cut it up into chunks. You want to substitute it for minced meat, you just kind of crumble it up and then it turns into minced meat. So made from soy, and then obviously the bacteria, it's not for everyone. Tempeh is not for everyone. It does have a funky, you know, semi-funky taste to it, but it is kind of the whole foods. It is better than I think tofu is because it's like a whole foods tofu. So tempeh right there. Forgot about these two. I stuck them in the freezer, and they were supposed to be the ones that I was super excited to show you guys, and then I completely forgot. So Longdans, if you guys know, they do really good vegan meats. Any kind of Asian grocery store, they do really good, like very well flavored, a good texture vegan meat. And I decided to try the lamb one first because usually you don't really see a lot of vegan lamb on the market, and I'm just wondering how it tastes and what flavorings they added to it. Most of these are usually they're wheat, gluten, or both soybean based. And so this one's like a peppered pork. Maybe I'll make it for you guys and I'll show it to you. I'm so sorry that I forgot. These were supposed to be what I was excited to show you all. I also decided to get mirin. So just some mirin because I ran out of it. I remember in a video, what was it? I think it was the Japanese Daily Dozen where everybody was like, oh my gosh, did you just say urine? No, like I obviously wouldn't put that, but some mirin, Japanese rice wine, I really usually like, I don't, if I run out of mirin, I just have, usually I have sake and I put in a little bit of sugar and I just feel like it pretty much tastes the same. But the Japanese, they use mirin as more of like a sweetener. It's a sweetened rice wine, but it's a fermented sweetened rice wine. So I guess it is looked upon as being a little bit more healthy than just sugar is because it's fermented. Yeah, usually like, you know, for your sushi rices or something, it's Japanese I feel like have like, here I go. The Japanese, I think typically, if I may generalize, is, you know, usually the flavor profiles are like, let's say like soy sauce, sake, sugar, mirin, I know they tend to use like ginger a lot, but you know, like of those, like kind of like the 4 big flavors, that's what they use to sweeten or like flavor rice and sushi rice and I don't know, different stews and whatnot, you know, that's, so yeah, the mirin. Okay. I don't know why I got this, but it's because a couple of years ago, I had to buy pandan for a recipe. Pandan is literally, if you look it up, people will say that it is the Asian equivalent of vanilla. Is that base flavor that is just really, really nice. You know, sometimes like you don't really realize that it's there. You kind of always do realize it. My nose is really itchy. It's really bad because I just never used to have allergies before. I never had it in the States. Maybe when I moved to Asia a little bit, but first couple of years here, I don't think that I had allergies either. And I just feel like starting maybe a little bit from last year, I'm starting to like get really sneezy around this time of the season. Anyways, pandan leaf. I got these a couple of years ago, also from Longdans. I kept them in the fridge and they just lasted a really long time until like maybe 2 months ago, I looked at them and I was just like, oh, okay, like you guys have been here too long. I should just get rid of you. But I saw them at Longdans, which is really nice because it is more of a Southeast Asian grocery store. So they had these and they looked super, super fresh. Like they're super green. The leaves are super like still strong and they haven't been in the fridge for a really long time. But did I already say this? Pandan, pretty much they call it the vanilla of Asia. It's really the base flavor that is quite delicious. It pairs really well with like coconut. The way that I describe pandan's flavor is if you could just like mush together the kind of the flavors and the smells of like a sweetened milky grass. I would put pandan in that category. And I know a lot of you guys will probably find pandan extract. Pandan extract it's just different because like it's very chemically because they try to, you know, replicate that flavor chemically and then they put all the green stuff in it. But if you can go to, you know, your Asian grocery store or something, sometimes they're in the frozen section as well. And you can get some fresh pandan. Just take the leaves, take some water, grind it up in your blender and you have like a, you know, like kind of like a green extract. You might need to strain it out, but put it into your cakes. Like take out the vanilla, put in the pandan, and you'll be like, oh, you know, like pleasantly surprised. Also, if those that like the Thai coconut rice, a lot of the times they might not even grind it up. They'll take like a piece of pandan, cut it up, or a lot of the times they'll just knot it so that it's smaller. Put it into the coconut milk, let it boil together, and then you'll get the essence of pandan and coconut milk, and then infuse it into that rice, and it is it's really, really yummy. I would try that with the cake because I made a pandan cake before and it was actually quite nice, like sans vanilla. The last one is really one that I haven't tried before and I've really crushed it up. I think it used to be one long stick and then they couldn't fit it into the refrigerator, so they broke it in half, and then when I was stuffing it into my backpack, I kind of squished it some more. But this is it's a fresh, what is it, mountain yam? I think some people call it a Chinese yam. Sometimes they call it a Japanese yam. There's one in Korea as well, but basically it looks like maybe like a radish or maybe like a long parsnip that has the little like kind of like eyes in it where the roots would come out. What the Japanese do is, maybe we'll try it together. They have like the grater option, and what the Japanese will do is they'll grate this yam because not only is it a yam, but I believe it has, is it mucilaginous? Mucilaginous might be the word, where it gets all kind of like, you know, like okra where it's like slimy and whatnot. So the Japanese will grate it and then put it over things like rice and then mix it with like soy sauce or something. So I feel like it's very similar to natto. If you guys have had that before, the fermented soybean where it's like like very sticky. I looked up some Chinese recipes where it was just, you know, normal kind of like stir fry, cook, stew, whatnot. And then some of the Japanese recipes that, you know, essentially you need to grate the yam. So that could be really fun. Do you guys want me to do it for you? Okay, let's stop this. We'll do it together. Oh. Oh my gosh, look at that. Okay. Ooh. I got some groats actually, which is mucilaginous in its own right. And I'll try it with this first, and then I brought out some soy sauce because I think that's how you would do it. Let me just try it by itself first. Oh. Mmm. 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 Oh, weird. Okay, so I had read about this, but with these mountain, like Chinese yams, when you grate them, you're supposed to actually have gloves, because if your skin touches it, some people have like a weird like itch or like a weird reaction to it. So, so you could either boil it first, or the skin needs to be removed by peeling or scraping, blah, blah, blah. It kind of sort of tastes a bit effervescent. I don't know. It's a little bit like little things stinging. So, but from what I read, I feel like you're supposed to be able to eat it after you grate it. I just wanted to make sure it's okay, because I can see how someone's tongue could start getting a bit itchy. It just kind of feels a little bit effervescent. The yam hasn't gone bad. It's just, I think it has potentially this thing. So I'm going to continue actually reading about it first. Let me just see if maybe I need to cook it off a little bit. I'm sure it's delicious. The initial flavor of it reminded me a little bit of like a slightly sweetened sweet potato. So I'm sure everything's great. If all goes wrong, I'm just going to cut it up and put it into soup. I'm sure that'll be great afterwards. So yes, that is it for me, people. I hope you all enjoyed my visit to Longdans, my local Vietnamese grocery store. If you guys want to see more travel stuff, more content, just something like different, let me know. You know, we've been here for about 5 years or so. I want to know what else interests you so that I can go and explore. Yeah, according to your wants and desires. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed that, and I will see you guys all again next time, okay? All right, bye. It's not easy.